Hello my friends, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a soul tribe reading, and I felt called to get my favorite deck, one of my favorites. I can't say that I have a favorite. Not anymore. I have many favorites. I wanted to get the Animal Apothecary because it actually is one of my favorite decks to use, and I haven't been using it very much. So I kind of wanted to tap into the energy and see what we need to hear as a soul tribe. I'm happy to see you, to be with you, my friends. I've missed you. I'm not gonna lie, I've spent a few days, I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm feeling called to like do other things on my spiritual journey. So now I'm feeling called to, for some reason, Reiki. So anyway, yesterday I spent the day kind of down a rabbit hole of kind of watching content by other spiritual creators. And anyway, I don't know. I felt like I wanted to connect with you guys today. And I'm also realizing that my ego has been getting in the way of my spiritual growth, and I felt like I kind of hit a wall. So I'm working through it. I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for your continued support. I went down the TikTok rabbit hole yesterday with spirituality. Oh dear. All right, let's do one more. So let's see what we need to hear today, my friends. Okay. That one jumped off the bottom of the deck with energy. And it's attract through glow, and we have 18, which is, you know, divine feminine energy. It's 18, the moon energy is about, you know, shining a light on your shadows, listening to your intuition, believing in the unknown, believing in hidden forces. But anyway, interesting. So let's see what we need to hear. Well, did I even finish cutting the deck? I can't remember. I'm being called to cut it again. Interesting. I think I was done it. Maybe not. We have breakthrough. Interesting. So I was talking about, I think this one is about lizard brain. Let's talk about this one because this seems to be symbolic to what I was just talking about. I felt like my ego was getting to me for a few days. I was questioning things, you know? I was questioning a lot, actually. It's too much for me to really put into words right now. I spent yesterday kind of, like I said, going down the rabbit hole of spirituality, what it means. And to be fair, spirituality is what it means to you. You don't need to fit inside of a box. And I saw a really interesting thing about how, you know, other people judge other people's spirituality, and that in itself is not spiritual, that act of judgment. So I don't know, like I'm autistic, or what I thought was autistic, because now, yesterday I went down that rabbit hole and somebody said it to me that ADHD, autism are just names that people have given these specific traits, they're labels. And the part of the rabbit hole thing I went down yesterday was, what if these neurodivergent people are actually spiritual people who are used to living on a spiritual plane, in a spiritual realm where time does not exist, and this programming that we've all been, that's been beaten into us throughout the years, doesn't exist. Anyway, it was just it kind of opened my eyes to it all, and it's making me question a lot. So I feel like I'm going through some type of spiritual ascension or awakening. You never stop. And I just feel called even more to just forget what the naysayers are saying and to keep going. because I think we're on to something. But anyway, I know I'm speaking so cryptically. My point is that I'm autistic, which I almost did in air quotes. I'm autistic and I have a really hard time putting these things into words. So right now it feels like there's 1,000 words in my head that I want to explain to you, but I have no idea how to put them in an order that makes sense. So once I do that, I will continue on with this ranting. But I was watching a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whoever it was. They were someone who has studied ADHD and autism and who believes like, yes, it exists, but what if what if the people who have it are people who are actually spiritual beings? And I know that sounds very conspiracy-ish. And see, this is the thing. I was never a conspiracy theorist ever. Like, I always found it very odd when people were like, there's a conspiracy. But now it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. Anyway, so this is on page 29. Breakthrough, High Priestess, Higher Self. So 2, High Priestess, 9, the Hermit, finding your soul path, your higher self. And it's on page 66. Very interesting. And look, we have the Otter, High Priestess, surrender to receive. And I feel like I've been blocking some of my spiritual growth by holding on to limiting beliefs and letting my ego, even when I talk to you guys, I still say like, I know it sounds crazy. I need to stop talking like that because this is what I believe in all of it. And I think that the more we surrender to our higher power, the more things become clear. And I'm waving my flag. I'm surrendering, you know? Anyway, let's read it. The medicine of this card comes through when you were about to level up. That's hilarious. Or have an amazing breakthrough, but you must be made aware that your lizard brain may self-sabotage. And that's exactly what I was saying is the last few days, the last few weeks, I found my ego has really been, my lizard brain has been trying to take over. And I feel that's because I'm on the breakthrough of another realization or something, or growth or something. And it's so interesting this card came out. So maybe you're feeling the same way. It's like the more that lizard brain gets in there, the closer you're getting to a breakthrough, the closer you're getting to the truth. And like, I just want to embrace it, you know? I don't want to doubt it anymore. I really don't want to doubt it anymore. I feel I'm being very vulnerable with you guys right now, but I'm ready to take that leap. I'm ready to just believe in it, you know, like fully, more than I do now. And I believe in it a whole lot. But it's like part of me is still holding on to that limiting belief. And I know it because the naysayers still get to me, right? The naysayers still make me think, oh, anyway, you can hear me going through it with you. Lizard brain may attempt to self-sabotage. Truth. The eye opening in this image is likened to a seed ripping open to become self-realized. The reptile head on the bottom of the card represents our unconscious reptilian brain, the limbic system. This is the part of our brain that represents fear, flight, fight, addictions, and other emotional behaviors. So just let me backtrack for 1 second. I took my kids to see a movie the other day. I don't even want to talk about how expensive it is to go to the movies. Like, I'm not going to go down that road right now. It's effing ridiculous how much it cost for my 4 kids. But we went to see Inside Out 2, and listen, that movie, like, I was moved by that movie, because I'm not trying to spoil anything, but the concept of the movie is how the main character loses her sense of self, and her sense of self comes from like that inner child, happy memories, things like that. Anyway, the concept of the movie, again, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it's how envy, jealousy, embarrassment, anxiety, fear take over our lives and really change our inner narrative. And that's what we start to believe. And what I try to explain to my kids is once you have a negative thought and you keep thinking it and you keep thinking it and you keep saying it out loud, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Anyway, if you haven't seen Inside Out 2, maybe wait for it to come out because it's super expensive to go to the movies. But there's a lot of meaning to me in that movie about how fear and programmed thinking and all of those things, like teachers telling us that we need to do better and that we're not smart enough and you need to learn this way and you can't do it that way. And if you sing out loud, you're a weirdo. And if you dance on the street, you must belong in a psych ward. All those things that we've been taught. What was my point? They become our inner narrative. And like, I believed that I was a piece of crap for over 30 years because that's what I learned. And anyway, the movie, it's joy. And I could really resonate with joy, you know, like I kind of see how my higher self is kind of like joy in that movie and the fact that I have all this hope in this light. But she was trying to find the character's sense of self. And the more that anxiety took over and fear, the farther away Riley, the character in that movie's sense of self drowned within. Anyway, very like, I am so glad my kids saw it. I mean, I talk to my kids about that kind of stuff all the time, but for them to see a visualization of it. Anyway, I'm just going through something. Like, I'm having all these realizations. I'm like, I don't know what's happening to me. So I'm here to share it with you. This is what's happening to me. And if you're here and you're part of the soul tribe, I feel like you're probably about to go through a spiritual breakthrough and spiritual growth. Anyway, you know, I spent yesterday on looking at this stuff on TikTok thinking, I need to find, like, we need to find each other. We need to find our people. Okay, I'm rambling. Let's keep going. This part of our brain represents fear, flight, fight, addictions, and other emotional behaviors. It hates change and thinks it can keep you safe by pulling you back from taking important risks that can lead to great success. The lizard brain will drown you in fear of potential failure and tell you to stay in the job or relationship that makes you miserable because there is a strange safety in the familiarity of what you already know. Hey, at least you know it's horrible, so that's safe, right? Wrong. This is just some of the garbage logic of the lizard brain, the master of self-sabotage. Wally. This card, he's scratching. This card is about surpassing the prehistoric programming of our beliefs and behaviors to evolve into who we know we can be. The art of your breakthrough is the determined effort to constantly question your perception. Take a moment to analyze a current obstacle or moment of resistance you are dealing with. This obstacle is a golden nugget moment to challenge your perception. Examine the story in your mind's eye. Even being aware that you just got hijacked by lizard brain doesn't necessarily dispel all the worry running through your body. At this very moment, you may just have to move forward while still feeling fear and not believing fully in yourself, but the action of going forward is what will lead you to the critical breakthrough. I don't know, I'm just questioning everything, you know? And then like at night, I sit down with my partner and they're not spiritual at all. And like my best friend's not spiritual. So it's like, who do you talk to this about in your everyday life? Like everybody just looks at you like you're crazy. Because we're programmed to believe that we're supposed to, you know, go to school, get a job, get married, get a car. Like, it's just, it reminds me of like years ago when I first spiritually awakened and I was like, it's kind of, I'm not going to lie. I feel, that's funny. I said I fear. I feel like I'm going to go through some type of dark night of the soul or something. But anyway, anybody want to get on the ride with me? I was not expecting all of that to come out, so let's go. Now I get it. You know, I used to watch TikTok and I used to watch spiritual people, and they'd be like, I have a channeled message for you. And they would say something that you needed to hear, and I'd be like, how did they do that? Anyway, I'm just saying the spiritual stuff that kind of scared me years ago when I was first starting to spiritually awaken and I doubted is now the stuff that I'm watching on TikTok. So I'm not making any sense. Let's see what we need to hear. What do we need to hear today other than my ranting on? What do we need to hear today? Master Manifestor. So I did see that when I was shuffling. This is a very, in my opinion, a very powerful card. So let's have a read. This is kind of just what the universe, what spirit wants you to know, whatever it is that you believe in. Is anybody else a conspiracy theorist? Let me know in the comments. I'm not, but like some of the stuff I was looking at yesterday had me thinking, you know, like it really had me thinking. All right. This is on page 22. I love the number synchronicities we're getting. Raven lived a lonely life in the dark abyss of the universe with only one other creature, Spider. Okay, so listen to this. When I went outside this morning, you know, I always sit outside in the sun in the morning, not for tanning, but for the energy. I love the energy of the sun. I always have. Apparently my name means like bright-headed or something. Anyway. It has something to do with the sun, bright-headed lion. I don't know. And when I'm going to include it in this video, if I remember, when I went to sit down, there were hundreds of spiders. There were hundreds of baby spiders. And I'll show you the video. And they started to like move away. They were all like together, and then when I sat down they went like they all started to scatter and then form another blob. Anyway, the whole morning I was sitting out there, they were like they were on me. They're tiny, but I didn't even care. I was just like, anyway, so spiders could be symbolic. Spiders are also symbolic of divine feminine energy and surrender. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because you'll see, I'll add it to this video. Raven lived a lonely life in the dark abyss of the universe with only one other creature, Spider. Anytime Spider crawled to Raven, Raven would freeze in terror, and Spider would sadly crawl away, for she did not want to scare Raven. Often you could find Raven gazing into the endless universe and dreaming about creating the world. Everything in his heart wanted to experience so much more, but he just didn't know how to create it. One day, Spider saw Raven projecting his dream into the universe. Spider crawled up to Raven, and as usual, Raven froze in fear. Spider sadly looked up at Raven, suffocating in his fear, and right before Spider was about to dart away, she decided to use her voice. She said, "Dear Raven, I know you do not trust me, but I can help you." Raven seemed to snap out of his hypnotic state of terror for a moment and looked down at Spider. "I can weave your dream into existence," said Spider. It was at this moment that Raven understood. Not only did he have to befriend his fear, who was Spider, but that it was his fear that held the gift to allow him to manifest his dream. Once Raven could accept and deeply love all aspects of himself, one being the spider who represented his fear, he was then able to become the ultimate magician, the master manifestor. Raven's medicine says, when you honor all aspects of your being, you become whole. Wholeness equates to self-love, and your wholeness supercharges your magnetism to attract and create. When you befriend the painful parts of your personality, you will find that they are the ones that hold the secrets that allow you to fully step into your purpose. Beautiful. And, watching that movie Inside Out, like, too, very powerful, because I think a lot of us live our life with anxiety, fear, paranoia, all of those things, embarrassment, and all of those things are important, but they shouldn't rule us, they shouldn't rule us. What else do we need to hear, Spirit? Not this card. Oh. All right. Those of you who know this card know what's coming. And those of you who have been here long enough know exactly what this card does to me. It's card 33. And we have card 44. Listen, this is what I'm talking about. I feel like we're all on the edge of a breakthrough, and we just need to keep going and not listen to the naysayers. Because just your numbers are very interesting. We had 22, 66, 33, 44. And these cards are like my two favorite cards in this deck. So the fact that we had breakthrough, you're on the verge of an amazing breakthrough, and that's when lizard brain tries to take over and self-sabotage. And then we have master manifestor. And these cards, just listen. You'll see what I mean. I'm already crying. Biggest, like, this is one of my, out of the thousands of different, like, singular cards sitting around me right now, these two are two of my favorites, just like this deck, I guess. Jaguar, that's how I say it. That's how I'm gonna say it. Even though it's Jaguar. I'm gonna say it Jaguar. Listen closely, please, my friends, because your Jaguar needs some love. Jaguar represents the shadow, the subconscious aspects of ourselves we push away. Carl Jung says these aspects, I apologize to this person if I've been mispronouncing their name all this time. Carl Jung says these aspects usually stem from situations we encountered as children that lead us to feel shame, unworthiness, and abandonment. We then live out these programmed beliefs as adults, and that's exactly what I'm talking about this whole time. Jaguar comes to speak to us about nourishing our shadow. In this image, we see her drinking from the well of wholeness. The well in this image, inspired by something analyst Marion Woodman, is our place of nourishment and absolute wholeness. Water is where all life comes from. Without it, we have no vitality. Many of us ignore and starve our shadow aspects because they cause us so much pain. We push them away and we deeply criticize them. We chain our Jaguar shadow and confine her to the furthest part of the backyard of our minds. She howls and cries for nourishment, yet still we ignore her. In her banishment, because of lack of love, her power grows as the master of self-sabotage. Ironically, if you would begin a relationship with her, you'd find that she is your greatest asset and leads you to fulfilling your life's purpose. Funny that we instinctively banish her. Jaguar's medicine asks you to create a self-talk relationship with yourself and to ride the wave of hurt within. Every time a painful feeling arises, you must now tell yourself, I'm right here to feel this with you. I accept this uncomfortable feeling and I will ride it out with you. I am here to feel this with you. If you do this, the emotion will always detox out and dissipate, leading to a much quicker healing. But you must be strong and endure the pain. Commit to riding the waves of emotion together within yourself. This is the nourishment your Jaguar shadow requests. If you witness her, she will start showing you a new and indestructible power within. Your shadow is where your diamond lives. And my poor shadow Jaguar got chained up for, 35 years. And what's really interesting is the Jaguar is usually on I don't know why I'm so emotional right now. On swords cards, sometimes you see the Jaguar as or in animal, like decks, animal tarot, you'll see that the Queen of Swords is actually a Jaguar, and that represents your authentic self, your authentic truth. Anyway, again, I'm not going to apologize for being emotional, because F that. I'm allowed to cry, damn it. 44, let's keep going. I need to wipe my nose because I'm slobbering everywhere. Not slobbering. Okay, so now this is on page 101. In the blossoming spring season, little Fox frolicked and skipped in the wild woods. As he played, his attention was constantly drawn to a distant light. The light glimmered deep in the forest past the rumbling river. Although he couldn't quite make out what the light was, every bone in his body knew that it was meant for him, and his soul would spark with joy when he saw it. It was as if the light were a magnet calling out to him, but whenever little Fox ventured toward the light, he was always abruptly stopped by the roaring river before him. Little Fox would fall into despair, for he could not unite with the light that called him. Time went on, and spring became summer. Little Fox would continue to catch glimpses of the light. Still filled with excitement and longing to unite with his beloved light, he would regularly attempt to reach it, only to again be blocked by the roaring river. More time passed, and as autumn approached, Little Fox grew and learned many lessons. Yet he was still faced with the unquenchable thirst for the light. Little Fox became distraught and angry toward life. He often cried out in sharp howls, forsaking life for presenting him the beauty of light without him knowing. Forsaking life for presenting him the beauty of the light without allowing him to embrace it. He grew mistrustful that life did not have his best interests in mind, and increasingly became hardened and jaded. Autumn transformed into winter. By this point, Little Fox was Big Fox, but his heart was broken, for the only thing he ever longed deeply for was out of his reach. Big Fox gave up. During the early winter months, Big Fox did what he had to survive, but he had a hole in his heart. He walked with his head low, for he could not bear to look up and see the out-of-reach light. One night, as Big Fox lay asleep, snow began to fall. When Big Fox awoke, he was taken aback at this new element he had never experienced. As he started his day, he saw a gaggle of geese standing on the river in the distance. Completely perplexed at how they were now standing on the water, he approached the river with caution. He had learned through all of his seasons of life that he must be careful and cautious. As he put his paw in the water, he found it to be hard and sturdy. He gasped and thought, could this be the path to my light? Big Fox carefully crossed the water with deep awareness. He listened for the cracks and creaks in the hard water and scanned the sky for hawk approaching. As he crossed the river with extreme care, it dawned on him that if he were Little Fox, he would have boldly run across the hard water without a care in the world, and he could have been hurt or even killed. A shower of epiphanies began to rain on him. He realized that he had to go through all of the seasons and learn all of the lessons to be prepared to walk toward the light destined for him. As Big Fox finally crossed the great river, he thanked Mother Earth and Father Sky and understood that he had to wait to gain the wisdom that prepared him for crossing the great river. If there is something you yearn for in your heart, and you've been trying to achieve it with little to no success, this is a profound confirmation that it is approaching. Be patient. There is wisdom in the waiting. This is preparation time. You are gaining what you need to unite fully with what your heart desires. Endure, endure, endure. And it ends on page 103, which is 4. So 444. Almost there. Almost there. So this is meant to be kind of, what your guides, what the universe wants you to hear. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this good tarot book I really like the interpretations in it because there's these almost like they're messages. So I just kind of wanted to see what your guides want to communicate through me, you know? So let's see what's happening for you, my friend. What do you need to hear? What do you need to hear? We have the Lovers card and the Page of Fire. So I want you to take these messages as they resonate to you, however they resonate, whether it's love, whether it's your soul purpose, whether it's family, your relationship with yourself. I'm not going to try and put it in a little box. I'm going to leave it open to interpretation. We have Strength on the bottom. So remember, you know, that Lovers card, we saw the person embracing the lion. And the Lovers energy can also be about choosing yourself, learning how to love all aspects of yourself. And we have the Strength card, you know, embracing all aspects of yourself, embracing your inner confidence, facing your shadow, overcoming your ego. You know, it's possible that you are being attacked by lizard brain right now, trying to confuse you. So let's read the Strength card. Leo energy. Here's your affirmation or whatever it's supposed to be. I can go the distance. I can go the distance, and I know that everything occurs in divine, appropriate timing. I have the courage as I manifest miracles. Blah, blah, blah. When I allow, I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic, you know? When I allow spirit to work through me, I am strong enough to move mountains and overcome any obstacle inside or out. So, messages from your guides, you know, your guides want you to know that you're strong enough. You're strong enough to love yourself, and sometimes you have to face your shadows in order to truly love yourself. Whoops. So what does my soul tribe need to hear from their guides? What does my soul tribe need to hear? Spirit. We have the World. Beautiful. And look, we have the Queen of Swords. Remember I was talking about how the Jaguar or Black Panther, whatever, sometimes is seen as... I have several decks here. I have several animal decks where the Queen of Swords is represented by a black cat. Hang on. There it is, Queen of Swords. See that? Beautiful. So, I'm going to leave that Queen of Swords right there. All right, Queen of Swords. Where are you? Right, this book puts them at the beginning. So, Queen of Air. Oh, look, we have a King of Fire here, King of Wands. So perhaps that's someone you are involved with or wanting to be involved with. Setting healthy boundaries, strong self-esteem, clear communication, well-organized. And here is your messages from your spirit guides. I have clarity of purpose. My intentions are in alignment with my understanding. There is always a strategy in the game called life. Can I let go of false truths and be rigorously honest with myself and others? So I'm going to try not to read these cards. Sorry, but I'm seeing perhaps a cycle coming to an end between you and a King of Wands. Maybe you're in stagnant energy with that person right now. Anyway, I know that that's not the reading I'm doing, but I just wanted to mention it. I can't help myself. Listen, last night I was playing cards with my daughter and I looked up what each suit represented when it comes to tarot, and then every hand, we were playing like Go Fish, and every hand I had, I was like, oh my gosh, look at this storyline. Okay, so this is your message, your affirmation from your higher self. I'm being called to shift my perspective on my life now. When I remember I am first and foremost an immortal soul experiencing life as a human being, I have no fear. I can see clearly I am a powerful co-creator in a divine partnership with Spirit. Aligning myself with Spirit, remaining unattached to outcomes, I am a conduit for miracles. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, because for some reason I like the way things are lined up, I'm going to do this. Oh yeah, look how perfect that is right underneath. Beautiful. And then I'm going to put this Queen of Swords over here as well. So what does your highest self want to say to you, my friend? We have the Five of Water. I think it's interesting how on the Five of Water, this person is protecting that little seahorse. Allowing sadness to rise, fall, forgiveness, the ebb and flow of emotion. I feel the fullness of my emotions as they wash through me. The ebb and flow are part of life, and I am present in my feelings today. I fully forgive myself and others and let go of any emotions that were holding me back from acknowledging the truth. I deserve the freedom that comes when I release what is no longer working for me. I make amends to those I may have harmed when emotions were coloring my perceptions. I surrender any resentments to the divine, knowing they can be transformed into miracles. Fearless inventories lead to liberation. What does your higher self want you to hear? What does your higher self want you to hear? Look at that. So we have, remember how I said it could be that you're in a stagnant energy with the King of Wands, and now we have this Two of Swords on the bottom, and we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Lovers coming out. So I am going to read these cards to you, or whatever the message on them is. But the Seven of Pentacles is about investing in something that possibly you're not seeing yet in the 3D. Perhaps you're waiting to see your investments. Perhaps you're someone who's investing in yourself. Perhaps you've chosen yourself and you're still waiting. Maybe it still feels stagnant. Maybe you're waiting for that breakthrough, you know? So let's see what these cards are about. Let's start with Seven of Earth. I feel like they're connected because they came out together, so it could be that this is love related. Oh my gosh, it's on page 88. As I reflect on my progress to date and see where I stand, I contemplate whether I want to continue singing the same song or change my tune. I am always free to go back to and reimagine what I might co-create. If what I manifested does not serve me as I thought it might, I don't have to be afraid to admit what is no longer for me. Whatever I choose to do, I am not afraid to start over, for I feel assured that Spirit will always support my highest good. So for some of you, I am seeing a very clear message about picking or choosing between two lovers, or choosing yourself over a lover, you know, choosing to invest in yourself. This Seven of Pentacles and the Lovers card does make me feel like this is a question about reassessing the path that you're on. You know, maybe you were manifesting love with someone who it didn't come into fruition, and maybe now you're looking and reevaluating, is my person on another path? Like, am I on the right path? Or Do I want to continue on this path with this person, or perhaps I'll find love down a new path, is the energy of this card. For some of you, like I said, we have the Two of Swords and the Four of Earth. And so I don't want to call anybody out here, but this does give the energy of choosing yourself or a spiritual love connection over a foundation that you've already built. So maybe you're someone who's already in a connection, and maybe you're there because you don't know how to be alone. Like, I can completely resonate with that. Even now, my partner and I have a very different relationship. We're more like best friends. We're more like family. But still, I feel a little dependent on that, and the last couple days I've been thinking, like, maybe there's a different path out there for me, one where I'm more independent, So if you're having these thoughts, it's good to think about them. I'm saying it out loud to you. I haven't said that out loud to anybody. But there is this energy of reevaluating the path that you're on, whatever that means to you. And again, I don't say it lightly. For some of you, I feel like this has to do with someone, King of Wands, perhaps, that, maybe you've been hoping for a renewal and maybe that renewal never came. And this could be you wondering, like, is that person going to meet me on my path, or perhaps there's someone else? I'm being called to Ever After, when Henry is contemplating about love and about how, let's say you meet your true love and then they die and then you fall in love again. Was that your true love, or was it the first? And, you could be someone questioning everything right now, kind of like me in terms of the stuff I'm questioning. It's a little bit different, but yeah, that's what we're seeing here. So I'm going to read the Lover's card, but that's what the Seven of Pentacles said. Take it as it resonates. However, for you, again, that could even be about reevaluating your own relationship with yourself here. Are you truly investing in yourself? Are you truly doing the healing? Anyway, in all of life, there's only the illusion of separation. In fact, we are all reflections of one another. I have to say, I'm out of breath right now. And when that happens, it means it's symbolic of like 10 of Wands energy. So you could be feeling very tired right now, like you've been on this journey for a while. I mention it when I'm out of breath like that. When I make choices, I tend to see things as either or. What if every choice I make is about an experience, a sharing, and an exploring? When I choose to see the unity in all things, magic abounds. Love is all around me. Spirit loves me unconditionally, and I can give and receive abundant love. So to me, I'm kind of getting the message here that Spirit's saying what's meant for you will come to you. It doesn't really matter what choice you make. It'll just take you longer to get there depending on the choices you make. So it's really about, trusting in the path that you're on and surrendering to the universe. And if something is meant for you, it'll cross your path, And we'll get one more card here. One more card. We have the Eight of Earth. Even masters of their craft have more to learn. Truth. Even masters of their craft have more to learn, and I eagerly embrace the opportunity to go deeper, develop a greater understanding, and find new ways to apply what I know. I acknowledge all I have learned and accomplished, the skills I have developed, and the goals I have reached. Now is the time to find new ways to apply what I know, to enhance my expertise. My beginner's awkwardness has melted away, and I know what I am doing now. I have the confidence to become more intimate with the work in all areas of my life. And it's interesting because we went from the 7 of Earth to the 8 of Earth. So it does show that you go from feeling, you know, kind of unsure if you're doing the right thing to believing that you're doing the right thing, to embracing this journey, to investing in yourself. All right, what do I want to get here? What do I want to get for you? I kind of want to get you... Let's get these ones. What do you need to hear from your higher self? Okay. There's no beginning to end to growth. You are forever expanding. And I think it's symbolic that I'm, you know, talking, look, 12, surrender, hanged man energy. And, you know, I was talking about how you don't just awaken once, you keep awakening, you keep surrendering, you keep ascending, you keep going through changes. You came from the stars, so shine bright. 21, world energy, and that was the first card out, my friends. Promise to love yourself fully. 33, the numbers. The numbers, so cool. Look, 1221, what the heck? 1221, that's magic. Everyone in your life is teaching you something. Are you learning? And that is truth, my friend. Everybody can teach us a lesson if we look hard enough. You know, I'm at the part of my journey where, and I saw some people on TikTok talking about it yesterday, where I don't want to talk about pointless crap, you know? I want to have deep, meaningful conversations. I want to talk about the universe, and I want to meet other healers, and anyway, I don't know. You can hear it in my head. I'm all like questioning things. Not in the sense of spirituality. I am not questioning spirituality. I'm questioning everything else, which I have been for a while, but now it's really like, it's really coming in. Let's just get a couple more. We'll just get 2 more from a different deck. I have no expectations and make no assumptions. Do you know how hard it is to live without expectations? Like, I think that's one thing that's been surprising me is like, you can say, I don't have any expectations, but as humans, we do have expectations. And it's, to me, that's been one of the hardest things to surrender, is even like the subconscious expectations, the expectations that you don't even know, like you don't even realize. I follow my bliss, and I am at peace with my past. Beautiful. So I'm going to leave my little ranting session there. I love all of you that listen to me. I really do appreciate it because, you know, I just wish we all lived within vicinity of each other, you know, and we could, you know, eat cookies together and play with tarot cards and play with crystals and sage ourselves. Anyway, I'm sending you guys lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. You're my favorite people. Bye. I'm going to remember the spider video.